Hello, my name is Brandon Wyatt, and today I'm going to talk to you about the book I chose, which is Leadership 101, What Every Leader Needs to Know. Are you interested in leading others? Many people might answer this question no or maybe, but if asked, are you interested in influencing others? You might be more likely to say yes. And in the book, Leadership 101, the author makes the point that to be able to influence others, you have to be able to lead them. This presentation will cover the who, what, and why of the book, Leadership 101. Also will critically evaluate the content of this book. The main points are the summary of Leadership 101, what Leadership 101 teaches us about leadership, and a critical analysis of Leadership 101. I would now like to go into the brief summary of this book. The author is John Maxwell, who is a world-renowned leadership expert and author. Maxwell has written over 60 book titles and sold millions of copies. And why was the book written? It was written to fulfill a need by the publishing company. The publishing company, Thomas Nelson, approached Maxwell about the need for some short, concise books that had been requested by readers about Maxwell's 4 main skills that need to be mastered to become successful, which are leadership, relationships, equipping, and attitude. And this is one of the books that came out of that request. Who is this book intended for? It really is intended for anyone that is interested in learning about leadership and the influence they have on others. It can benefit someone that's just learning about leadership or someone that has been a CEO of an organization for years, and there's tips in this book that I think can benefit anyone wherever they are in their journey of leadership. The summary of Leadership 101. In Leadership 101, Maxwell describes how and why leaders need to grow, the traits that need to be developed in a leader, and the importance that influence has on leaders' impact on others. And we talked a little bit about just the summary of the book. Now I'd like to go into what this book teaches about leadership. There's 3 main topics that are covered in this book. The first one being the development of a leader. Maxwell goes into why should I grow as a leader and how I can grow as a leader. Maxwell does a very good job at showing the importance of these topics. The second major subject that is covered is the traits of a leader, in which Maxwell talks about self-discipline and how important it is to lead yourself before you can lead others, the prioritization, developing trust, and how important it is to earn trust before you can truly lead someone, and to be a vision caster, to be able to develop vision and be able to help others see it and help them strive for it. And the last major subject that is talked about in this book is the impact of a leader, the importance of influence, how influence works, how to extend your influence, and how to make leadership last. And we've talked a little bit about what this book can teach us about leadership, and now I want to talk a little bit more personally about what I saw in the book and critically analyze what I got from it. Leadership 101 is a good source of information for those interested in leadership. Maxwell maintained a great balance between personal experiences and other credible sources. Material from Leadership 101 correlated with course information and confirmed information found in the textbooks, such as leadership versus management, in which we've discussed, and the differences between leadership and management, and how often people view those as one thing, but they're truly not. And that leadership is a process, which we've also covered in our textbook, and the importance of prioritizing, another topic that we've talked about in one of the chapters in our textbook. Information from Leadership 101 was presented in a way that readers could reproduce the techniques that were given in the book. 2 specific examples that stood out to me were prioritization and self-discipline. The way that Maxwell was able to present both of these topics, he was able to show the importance of them first, and then he took the reader through a step-by-step method of what needed to be done to improve in these areas. The strengths that I saw from this book is that it really has a good structure. The way that Maxwell breaks the book down into those three separate topics of the development of a leader, the traits of a leader, and the impact of a leader. And the way that he goes through subtopics of each of those major topics and shows the importance of each topic, and then convinces you of the importance, and then shows you how you can improve in those areas. Another strength is the great examples to learn from that were presented in this book. There were many famous quotes and famous stories, or about famous people that maybe you don't know the stories, such as Theodore Roosevelt and other great people that have had influence in our history as a country. And also something that Maxwell, I think, does a very good job at is his short statements that are very empowering, which you can read and memorize and just kind of quote back to yourself, just to maybe change the way you think about things. The weaknesses that I saw in the book, due to the length of the book, there was a certain lack of depth that was covered. I feel like there were some areas that could have been expounded on a little bit more. And also, the opening subject that was covered, I think there was an inadequate time given to that section. I think the development of a leader is very important, and I think it kind of wasn't effectively covered and could have been given more time. Would I recommend this book? Most definitely. I would recommend it to anyone who's looking for a good, quick read about leadership. This book has some great points about how we all need to improve in leadership, not just those we view as leaders, and how to influence people. We have to be able to lead them. Some of the reasons for choosing this book was out of respect for the author. I think a lot of John Maxwell as a writer and as a person, and just think he has a lot of good things to say about leadership. Also, the simple and interesting title of the book, it seemed like it would address what I needed it to for this assignment, and also that it had an appropriate length for this assignment. Now, transitioning to just my conclusion, just wrap things up. This presentation covered the who, what, and why of the book Leadership 101. I also critically evaluated the content of this book. The main points that were covered: a summary of Leadership 101, what Leadership 101 teaches us about leadership, critical analysis of Leadership 101, and my final thoughts are that my overall feeling was that this book was a very enjoyable read. I would highly recommend this book to anyone looking for a quick read about leadership. Hope you enjoyed this presentation, and I hope you have a great evening.